Okay, good afternoon all.
Good afternoon.
At the outset, I'll appreciate the efforts of BCIC of conducting or organizing such a program in this very difficult times, even through an online medium of a webinar. It is a well appreciated move. We have been in touch with all the industry associations to conduct as many such programs as possible so that we can be in touch with most of our employers to make them aware of the schemes, that newly introduced schemes that we have already launched. So at the outset itself, I thank the BCCI for introducing and organizing such a program. And before I go on to the presentation, I'll just give a brief. I hope I'm audible to all of you.
Yes.
Okay. The Prime Minister and Government of India has launched the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, as all of you might be knowing, and in that, two schemes that are part of EPF has also been introduced, which are actually been a relieving factor for both the employers and the employees in these difficult times. As far as the employers are concerned, the scheme conceives payment of their 3 months contribution of both the employees and the employer share directly to the members account, and the employers will not have to pay any contribution of both the employee and the employer in respect of such members. And the next is a non-refundable advance that can be availed by the members itself. Then that is up to 75% they can avail. So I'll start with the basics of the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana scheme.
Hello, mic testing 1 2 3.
So the main objective is
I request the participants to please keep the audio option mute.
So the objective of the scheme is to prevent the disruption of employment of low wage earning employees, because this is basically applicable to those employees who are earning up to 15,000 rupees a month and who are employed in small and medium industries employing up to 100 employees. So the main focus is on the small and medium industry category, so that because they will be the most affected, I'll say, in this COVID times, because they are not at all in a position to function at any point, right from their getting the raw materials to the market, everything is banned. So, and they will be the most affected because the most low paid employees are also employed there, and the employers are also will be having very less capital with them. Actually, a targeted scheme for such employers. Then the next is the eligibility. As I already told, for as far as establishment is concerned, it is applicable to those establishments already covered under EPF and which are employing up to 100 employees, and out of which 90% of these employees should be drawing a monthly wages of less than 15,000 per month, and that will be their monthly wage should be less than 15,000. And in the same establishment, they will be eligible employees and uneligible employees. So for the employees to be eligible, their salary should be less than 15,000, that is up to 14,999 rupees, and their UAN should be seeded with Aadhaar, and the contributions, their contribution should have been received in the last 6 months on wages less than 15,000. So these are the basic eligibility criteria that we check for these employees. Then for this, there are some important preconditions which states that the employer will have to disperse the wages or the salary to all employees for that month, because only that will be the first precondition. Only if you pay the salary, then you becomes eligible for this, because it is from the salary that the employee share will be deducted. So if the government is paying the employee share, it means that your PF has been, it is equivalent to the salary has been paid. And so the most important precondition is that you will have to disburse the salary for all these employees. Now, as my previous speaker was saying, we all acknowledge that there is a difficulty in the payment of wages. But even in such times, if the employer manages to pay the salary at least for these employees, then the government is with you to relieve of your additional burden of this PF dues. So at least, because this is a mandatory scheme, and obviously you will have to pay it at some point of time. Even if you are not paying the salary now and you are paying it at a later point, then you will be paying it with penalty and interest. So if you manage to pay your salary of your employees at least at this point of time, then government decides, yes, now you have provided some relief to your employees in these difficult times, then we are with you to give you some additional relief. So in such cases, the precondition are that salary should be paid to the employer, and no PF should be deducted from the employee salary. It will be given by the Government of India. Now another important point is this: employment strength of 100 will be taking into account all the branches of your establishment also. So in case you are having more than one branches and the other branches are having separate PF code numbers, means that it is technically what we call as a 2A coverage or a branch coverage. Then before availing this benefit, you will have to ensure that the form 5A or the ownership details have to be updated, because the ownership details will be having all the branches and the departments that the main establishment is having, or the 2A coverages will be included in that. So if it is a branch, they alone as a single unit, they will not be eligible. They will be considered as part of the main unit. And please note that another is that the ECR filing process will be the same. I'll go through you through that, but you will have to file a single valid ECR for the month. Earlier we have some contractor establishments where you'll be filing multiple ECRs. Maybe for one or two principal employers, they will be filing a single ECR like that. That practice we have noticed. But for these months, to avail these benefits, you will have to ensure that you are filing only a single valid ECR for the month, and no further ECR revisions will be allowed. So these are the basic idea of the scheme. And for the other employers who have attended, I'll just go through the ECR filing process. Madam, if you can just play that PDF, it will be very helpful.
I will change it, sir. Just a moment. Is this okay, sir?
That is okay. That is okay. So the ECR filing process is the same. There is not much difference is there. The first thing you'll have to notice that whether you are actually eligible, your eligibility will have to be first determined under the scheme. So we have, through our own IS division, we have arrived at a mechanism to find out the eligibility. So that will be that, and we have already informed such employers also regarding their eligibility. That is whether the total employment strength is 15,000 and your employees are having less than 15,000 salary. These things, some basic checks we have already done, and we have found out the eligible establishments. But even then, we have sent the SMS and the emails to all the establishments. Hope you might have already received that. And those eligible establishments we have sent separately that you have already been listed as an establishment, and please file the ECR. That also SMS and emails you might have already received. So while you log into your employer portal, the first thing you will be noting is the one declaration form. One pop-up will be coming where it is written that you will be informed. A basic information of the scheme is mentioned there. Then after that, you click continue and you move forward. So in the next step, also you have to you have to go through the filing of ECR portion as usual. In the second page, you will be coming across the declaration. That declaration is very important. You will have to read through it. You will have to approve it. The declaration states that you have already updated your Form 5 details, that you have included the details of all your branches, that ownership details have already been filled, and whatever data that you are furnishing in the ECR is correct. Then after filing for the ECR, you will have to write the total number of employees and the number of employees.
ठीक है, तो थोड़ी देर के बाद आशीष सर उसमें पे लिखते हैं कि why it has not been paid.
Hello. Hello, if somebody is hello, if some having any queries, please keep it for the last minute. We'll see all the queries at the last minute. Huh? So in there, first important thing will be the declaration. If you find okay that you agree to all these basic instructions that your establishment strength is less than 15,000, then you can, establishment strength is less than 100, then you can go to the next one where you will have to enter that the total number of employees and the total number of employees who are having wages less than 15,000, and that will be, you will have to agree with the declaration if you find it is valid for you. And please note that the declaration once submitted for 1 month cannot be edited again. So you'll be going forward, and if we find that yes, on the basis of this declaration you are found eligible, then you can go forward with the ECR uploading process of uploading the ECR and the verification of ECR. It will be followed by the preparation of challans. After that, you will have to enter your administration charges, and you will reach as the final challan. Now you will be arriving at
Sorry,
a combined.
I can't hear you.
combined challan of all these accounts, wherein you can see that you will have to pay in respect of
We
only
cannot do-
the 2 or the administration charges, and in respect of those ineligible employees. Means if any employees, say excluded employee, and you are paying, then you will have to pay the entire PF dues as usual. For the eligible employees, that amount won't be captured in the challan. You will only have to pay the remaining amount. And in the ECR itself, finally you can see one thing, the PMRPY benefit and the PMGKY benefit. So for those establishments which are already covered under PMRPY and for whom the employer share is already being paid by Government of India, it will continue as such. Only the employee share will be paid by the PMGKY. So it will be shown separately in the final ECR page also. And if you are having any difficulty filing the ECR, you can always contact the concerned EPF office. We are all our EPF offices are functioning with minimum staff that it has been declared as an emergency service, and all our officers and enforcement officers are also calling each establishment and finding out whether you are able to file the ECR, whether any technical issues are there. All these also we are finding out.
Sir,
Madam,
may I just, sir, I am Ahmed Ali, the co-chair of the committee.
Sir, I request the participants to mute your audio, please.
Ma'am, you can do it from your side also. Ma'am, you can do it from your side also.
I think, Commissioner sir, this is the disadvantage of working from home.
I know.
We'll go ahead. You
Okay,
can go ahead, please.
Madam, can you go back to the PPT?
No, Rupa
Yes,
and sir.
I'll switch it on.
Mr. Rajshekhar, I have a small point to make. If Mr. Punnappa also agrees, I am the co-chair. See, more than the technicalities of withdrawal and all that, the concern people are having is that most of us who are present here, their employees' salaries are beyond 15,000, and so what are the kind of benefits they can get now under the circumstances, in terms of from the provident fund, is what the concern is. Because we know, thank you very much, you are letting us know about the eligibility of new advance and all that. But the point is, the employees of all the members who are present here, their salaries are beyond 15,000, and many of their companies are now talking to them about either taking a cut in their salary, and therefore they will not. So how can Provident Fund help them? Their own money help them to give some subsidies is a concern. So if you can address that, they will be more benefited, and the participants who are mainly HR people, they can go and communicate that to the employees. I would say that would be one of the takeaways from this. Punnappa, if you agree, you just add on some, because
I understand that. I understand your concern, but
Yeah.
the issue is these are calls that are to be taken by the Government of India. But even then, what I came to know is that after this scheme is introduced, as you already told, the industry associations have already met our concerned ministers and addressed and apprised them of these issues. So these issues already being considered. As of now, I won't be in a position to comment on what the government is actually coming out with. So
Okay.
as of now, it will be more appropriate if we go on with the schemes that have already been introduced. because other one, because
Yeah.
whatever your concerns, I will be surely communicating it to the higher ups. Even today evening we will be having zonal commissioner will be having a video conferencing with the CPFC regarding
Okay.
this scheme itself. So what are the takeaways or the concerns that employer associations are raising? So we will be surely apprising him of these issues and to take up with them, because we also find that, as I already told you, that this is a targeted scheme. So a more benevolent scheme would be to address the concerns of those who are earning more than 15,000 also.
Yes.
Yes,
That
that
would
is
be
a
that.
valid
That is
concern, and we will be surely bringing it to the notice of the ministry officials concerned.
okay.
Yes.
That is
Good afternoon, Mr. Rakesh. This is Tyagu Valiappa, past president of BCIC and past president of EFSI as well. Sorry, I logged in late. I had a little bit of technical issues, but then nevertheless, thank you that you're addressing the complete team of more than 200 people who are in the IR and HR practices. But then what's the main concern today is, of course, BCIC as well as EFSI has been in the, industry for a very, very long time. And, most of the membership in manufacturing, BCIC handles, and EFSI is one of the oldest organizations from 1919, 1918 onwards, almost 100 years, 100 plus years. But then the background of today's situation is uncalled for, and we've never, probably before 100 years ago, this situation was arrived. So today, what we're really finding is that a lot of these issues where I think you're addressing 15,000 and below, like the textile industry, or the manufacturing of the lower end industry, like an MSME. Certainly, there are a few people in the MSME. But then, what really is the concern is how does this going to pan out? Because really, the total situation is in such a way that job losses are going to happen, and suddenly people are going to be finding it very difficult to even pay the bare minimum. So now the question is that how we can address the short term now immediately, because that is where I think we are finding difficulty. I think in the morning there was another program where someone was saying that how do I fill these forms and send it, because if it's not digital. So I think the ease of doing business for the next 10 days, and then after which maybe 30% may come to work. So if we can just be a little broader, immediate measures will give us more breathing space. This is what my request would be. And I'm sure that we are going to be talking on that, but if we can allude a little bit more on that, that would be great. Thank you.
Sure. Actually, as I already told you, means we are just in the first month of this issue. As things are panning out now, it will take at least some reasonable time for all the situation to be under control. So obviously, government will be coming up with more schemes as and when time goes, and reckoning up the situation. So that will be sure. Now the other regarding the ease of doing business, what he has already mentioned, we have now introduced a new advance also under para 68L, the COVID advance, where 75% of your advance of the members can be withdrawn by them. This is, I'll say, unprecedented, because when the an unprecedented solution to an unprecedented situation, that will be how we'll like to put it up, because we don't usually, except for house building or other purposes, we never grant this much amount for any person as non-refundable advance. For this, we are allowing them to withdraw up to 75% of their balance which is there, and this can be filed online provided their UAN, their KYC, that is Aadhaar and bank account, are seeded. And for seeding of Aadhaar and bank account also, the officers are functional. If they are having any issues, they can just log in to their member portal, upload these details. It will come to employer, and it will come to EPF also, and we are also taking these KYC updations in very quick time limits, because many of our officials are also working from home. So we have entrusted that work to them exclusively. So this KYC updation is also taking at a brisk pace, so that those who are till now who have been out of this online net are also brought into this online net. So whichever member is not yet updated his Aadhaar or his bank account, he can very well go and do it now, and we will be approving it immediately. And even this advance, for all our advances, there one minimum service condition is required. For this, there is no minimum service condition is required. If the appropriate government declares it as a pandemic, then he or she can avail the advance. The only issue will be that Aadhaar should be seated with UAN, and for that our offices are still functioning, and the Aadhaar and bank account should be seated with UAN, and the amount eligible will be 3 months basic plus DA, or 75% of the amount which is standing to this credit. So these are the basic things. And one more relief that EPFO has introduced has been the extension of the timeline for paying their last dues by from April 15th to May 15th for the month of March. So that also 30 days extension has been given. So these are the major initiatives that EPFO has launched as of now. So if you are having any other queries, you are welcome. You can go forward.
Hello, sir.
Add to one more thing. So we are taking it at we are settling all the COVID advances within 3 days, and half of them are settled at online mode itself, and the remaining are only coming to our offices. So that online, even the online settlement of COVID claims are being settled within 3 days. So that is also a very welcome development for the members as such. Yes, please.
So just to add, both BCIC and EFSI have a very strong database of manufacturers. So is there a way that the chamber can actually be useful by coordinating or something like that and helping better results?
That would be a very welcome gesture, and we'd also like to coordinate with you if any such if you can coordinate or pool such manufacturing units, so that we can be in touch with them through the platform of BCIC, so that these all these news can be brought to them at the earliest, so that they can also avail these benefit at the earliest.
Sure.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Actually, I want to know how much time it will take to settle a claim.
Time for settlement of a claim.
Yes.
That is what I was just telling you. If you are applying a COVID advance, we are settling it within 3 days. Other settlements, time is some delay is there in settlement of other claims, because all EPFO offices are working only with 1/3 staff. So our primary focus is on COVID claims, and our first priority is COVID claims. Once we settle the COVID claims, and we are attending to the other claims also, depending on dependency.
Any more questions from anyone?
Sir, there is a question in the chat box.
Okay.
They have one, Miss Kritika has asked, is there any proposed extension of timeline for contributions for April 2020, as we are now approaching the end of April also?
No, April timeline is there till for the payment of April contribution, time is given till May 15. So before May 15, after examining the circumstances that that will be there on May 15. Government will be taking a decision, or EPF will be taking a decision, and most probably the date will be extended, but no decision or no notification is out yet in this regard.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of questions in the chat box, but then I'm just reading out one of them. 15K is basic plus DA, or is it only gross salary?
It is gross salary. In the scheme, it is mentioned the monthly wages, so we will be going the gross salary.
And Prithvi, I think there is a lot of this questions on chat box. If you can just take up one by one, maybe sir can address it.
Yeah, one of the questions by Mr. Srinivas G. He says that for the MSME social enterprise rural BPO company, he's on the board. 90% of the employees are drawing less than 15K per month. With UNA linked to Aadhaar, salaries are paid. All working in the rural areas, however, are not eligible since number of employees are much greater than 100. Can you extend this to the rural employees? That's his question.
That question is being actually is taken up by Government of India, where the number of working on more than 15,000 or more, and even for those employees establishments having more than 100, but no concrete scheme has been decided till yet. So hopefully they may roll out such a scheme without much.
So that's where I think the Provident Fund commissioners can play a role, because 100 employees and less than 15,000 salary is not is not making much giving benefits to the most of our member companies. So whatever you are, as a representative body of most of the industries in Karnataka, and I'm sure same is the case in Bombay or Delhi or wherever. I think this needs to be reviewed by government on an urgent basis.
Yes,
and
surely
therefore,
we are actually collecting all the concerns from all the industry bodies, and we have been receiving many concerns. So we will be obviously bringing it to the notice of the Government of India and the high officials of EPF, so as to arrive at a policy decision.
That is important, because the date was declared same day. I had personally also sent a mail. This makes no sense for most of our member companies who are actually going to drive the economy of the country. I think you need to help employees of that type, because all these migrant workers are all going away. Is going to impact all the industries, and to attract them back again, and also the existing employees. These kind of issues must be addressed on a very, very fast scale. So, as our Provident Fund Commissioner of Karnataka, I think you need to play a lead role along with all others.
Surely we'll be bringing it to this.
Okay.
So, Dr. This is Venkat. I would like to ask a question.
Okay.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, please.
Sir, the question is like this. We are also looking at reduction of staff salaries and all, concerning that no production has been happening. In such a scenario, I am only repeating the question asked by Mr. Sanjay Handur. 15,000 is the gross salary, and a minimum contract. Can it be remitted, irrespective of the payout actually?
Somewhere your voice got break and I couldn't get your complete question.
Sir, I'll repeat, sir. The question is like this: for those who are drawing gross of more than 15,000 rupees, can the employer remit 1,800 rupees towards the member's contribution and close, irrespective of the amount being paid to the staff? The context is, it is quite possible that the staff salaries would be reduced in the coming months. In such a scenario, will a minimum contribution of 1,800 rupees suffice?
See, that is up to you, because mandatorily the employer is liable to pay only 12% of 15,000. So EPFO is concerned only with the payment of up to 15,000. So you can limit it to 15,000 and pay. That should not be an issue.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, sir, this is Rajesh. Can I ask you
But
one
the most
question, sir?
important thing is that their pay should not be altered to such a disadvantage that it comes below 15,000 and they are greatly affected. That will be
Got
our.
it, sir. Thank you. The threshold limit should be minimum of 15,000 and 1,800 rupees at 12%.
Limited to 15,000. That is fine. No issues.
Thank you,
Sir, this is Rajesh. Sir, this is Rajesh. I want to ask one question. It's a general question. So, did you notice any drop in membership from your region, and overall at the India level drop in membership during this lockdown?
See, this is not the correct time for such analysis, because March we are looking at the very first month of such EPFO remittances, because all these lockdown was initiated in March, and the payment of March month is due by April 15 only, and which has been extended till May 15. So only by that time we will be able to analyze such whether there has been a reduction as such, whether it has been there or not, because it will be too early to comment on such a scenario.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. One question, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, I have 5 units. Out of 5 units, 4 units crossed 100 employees. 1 unit I have only 96 employees, and all 96 employees, almost more than 90% employees are getting 15,000 only. But all 5 units has individual ID, individual PF code. So is that 1 unit is applicable to this scheme, sir?
No. It will be applicable. That is why I already told you all your branches will also be included in for counting the total employment strength, unless these are separate coverages. If these units are separate coverages, then yes, they are eligible. But if they are just branches of the same establishment, then that single unit alone will not be eligible.
Actually, all 5 units are different kind of process, different kind of unit, different individual ID, individual PF code also we have. So, is that condition it is eligible, sir?
Are you having 5 different code numbers or single code number?
5 different code numbers, 5 different PF code numbers are there, sir.
5 different code numbers, and whether these are 2A coverages or separate 1-3B coverages?
All are 3B coverages, sir. Only one single employer. Employer is single.
Employer can be single, and if the 5 establishments are separate, they are
separate code, separate PF code, separate code, separate location also.
Separate 1-3B coverages, then yes, that one establishment will be eligible. But if these are 2A coverages of any main establishment, then they won't be eligible. You can just do one thing. You can just send us the details of your establishment to our email ID, to our office email ID, ro.bangalore1@epfindia.gov.in. We can examine your case as to whether these are separate 1-3B coverages or 2A coverages, and we can give you an appropriate reply after analyzing your specific case.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, sir. I have a question. Yes, actually, I want to know. Actually, our head office is in Bangalore. So,
okay.
We are 60 different states of India. Can we go for the PF account separate? Can we open our PF account in separate states? Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Actually, sir, I want to ask. Can we open the PF account in different states?
Your voice breaking, sir.
Hello, sir. I have one question with regard to this partial withdrawal. In case if employees are withdrawing 75% of non-refundable advance this month, are they allowed to do the partial withdrawal for some other reason next month? Is there any limits, like they have to do the withdrawal like only these many number of times
No.
through the next
The
week,
same
something like
advance, actually, for the same advance, if you are availing a COVID advance under para 68L, then that is only once. The 75% is only once.
Yeah, that is
Now,
once, but immediately they can withdraw for some other reason.
you can withdraw, you can claim advance for any other reason, for any other advance. That is up to you.
The partial withdrawal can be done. Okay.
Yes, this partial withdrawals can be done.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Provided you satisfy the conditions for all those advances.
Yes, got it. Okay. So in case if some of the employees UN is not interlinked with their Aadhaar, so anything could be done online, or only the employer has to give approval? Whether the EPF office can give the approval, or
no, this is actually, it can be done. EPF office cannot do it directly. It can either be done by the employee. He can update it to the employee portal or the Umang app.
Okay.
Or it can be seeded by the employer using your KYC updation details.
Okay.
Yes, if the employee is doing it, then it will be coming to employer for, it will be, if everything is matching, then it will be auto-validated with Aadhaar database. There will not be any.
Because now when we are trying to update this KYC, this DSC is not supporting. Sometimes we are facing some issues. That's what I want to know, whether is it mandatory the employer has to approve, or
It can be employee himself can upload the Aadhaar details from his member portal or the Umang app.
Oh, okay. So for that, employer doesn't have to approve it.
No. It will be. Yes, employer will have to approve it. Once employee uploads it, then it will be coming to employer portal for approval of employer.
Okay.
And it has to be approved with the details signature.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
And if you're having any issues with the detailed signature, you can coordinate with the concerned EPF office. We'll be always there.
Okay, sir. Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, some of our employees, top level employees, are probably waiving their salary for next 3 months.
Okay.
In such a case, their continuity of EPF or PF has to be continued, or can it be discontinued and started again when their salaries get restored later?
The PF will be deducted from the salary of the employee. If the employee is paid salary, you have to deduct it from the you have to deduct PF from that salary. If the employee is not paid salary, then PF is cannot be deducted, right?
Okay. So, but that continuity is what was the question the employees wanted to check, whether the PF things account will be continued if 3 months there is no payment into the account.
Then it will be considered as non-contributory period only.
Non-contributory period. Okay.
Yes, it will not be counted for their service because no contributions have received, and it will be considered as a non-contributory period.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Good evening, sir. Sir, there are a lot of changes that keep coming every now and then. So this is a good session. So any publications or book that you would prefer so that we can follow that, and any website where we can closely get update regularly so that we always are up.
You can always follow our for EPF updates, our website epfindia.gov.in. It is updated with all the recent developments. Then you can even follow our Facebook and Twitter accounts of both the head office, as well as now each regional office is having their own Twitter and Facebook accounts also. So all these social media platforms as well as our website is regularly updated with all these data. And for these COVID updates, we have even started a new tab in our website, which is written COVID-19. So you go to that COVID-19 tab, all the recent initiatives or press release or whatever actions to be taken by the employer, all the news are listed down under the COVID-19 tab. All the news are consolidated there, and you can access those news from there.
Sure. One last question, sir, because we have just started as an HR in our.
Hello, your voice is breaking, I believe.
HR profession. So any public.
No, it was not audible. Let us make last three questions, please.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes,
Good evening,
please.
sir. Yeah, about the KYC,
Sir,
I want to know.
Rajesh sir, this is Ahmed Ali. There is also can I finish my point to the commissioner for a minute, and then I'll pass it on, because 4 o'clock we'll end this conference. So there is a lot of unclaimed provident fund available at the All India Provident Fund Office. So the question is whether these funds can be used for some of the benefits of the employees in case when you're talking to your when you're having your regional people with the central provident fund. Can you also raise this point that this unclaimed provident fund, can this fund be used for any kind of help during these COVID days? Is a suggestion.
No, because this provident fund dues, as we have been stating right from the for many years, these may be unclaimed now. People can come later. Some members' money, so they can claim at a later date. But even then, this money or unclaimed deposit has already been now transferred to the Senior Citizens Welfare Fund scheme. So whatever Government of India has already put in place for utilizing this unclaimed deposit for the welfare of senior citizens, as you might already been aware. So these unclaimed deposits, which are there lying even after 7 years of it being inoperative, then these are actually transferred to the Senior Citizens Welfare Fund, and there has been a laid down procedure for this. So now that fund is already being utilized, I would doubt now it can be utilized for this purpose at this moment.
Sir, we left our DSC in our office.
Thank you for clarification. The impression was that this is... Yes.
Sorry. So we have left our DSC in our office, and we have a unique situation of not being able to approve on. Is there any other way to do it in the portal, sir?
The digital signature is must. There is no other way.
Any OTP or something else which can come, which we can use?
No, as of now, that e-sign provision is not available. You will have to get it DSC itself.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So in case if the employees haven't merged their EPF accounts, so how this 75% of the non-refundable advance is calculated? Whether it's calculated based on the minimum?
This 75% is calculated based on the.
Yes, sir.
Can conclude now. 1 hour is over.
Okay. Okay. Hello. Any questions?
Yes, sir. I have one question.
1 minute. This is Panapa from BCIC. Maybe 1 or 2 last questions, then we'll close. Mr. Commissioner, we have taken time up to 4 only. Go ahead.
Yes, about the KYC, I want to know. See, in the KYC, Aadhaar in the Aadhaar name and the PAN name should be matched. But in PAN, there will be abbreviations of the names in middle name and surname. It cannot match with the Aadhaar with initials. This has become very difficult to. So many of our employees cannot match with that. They cannot update the KYC because of this.
No, madam, this PAN issue is already over. There's no need for exact matching. It has been resolved by the EPF end, and now you can link the PAN with the Aadhaar.
Sorry, sir, I lost your answer for the question which I raised earlier, whether the 75% is based on the UAN in case if they haven't merged their PF accounts, how that will be withdrawn.
Yes. It is. It will be based on your UAN only.
Okay.
Sir, I have a question. Sir, there are few of the employers who might have worked somewhere else earlier, and they have not transferred their PF claim. They may not have transferred their claim. So in this case, so what would be the amount that they will be withdrawing? They will be allowed to withdraw, whether
In case the amount is not transferred, whatever is lying in his last account, only 75% of that can be withdrawn. So it is advisable that you first get the amount transferred to his current account and then apply for an advance.
Okay, sir. One more question, sir. If say, hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, so what would be the impact in the future if, say, there is it has been said, no, sir, if anyone withdraws partial amount, right? So at the end of their tenure, at the end of their service, so they will be not benefited.
Hello.
In future, what would be the impact if they withdraw any amount? So will this affect in their last withdrawal of a pension and all? If there will be any impact on that?
Obviously, we will advise you to withdraw from the PF only if it is really necessary. If it is necessary that you have to withdraw the up to 75, you can do it. That option is there. But if you want to withdraw only a certain amount of money, which is less than the 75%, you restrict it to that amount, because the withdrawal of 75% of your PF account, especially if you are working, if your age is very less. See, if you are less than 40 or less than 45, and you are withdrawing the PF 75% right now, the cumulative loss that you will be having in 58 years will be staggering. So it is better that you keep it at the end of the end of your career, and if it is really necessary, only you kindly withdraw it from, because we will be offering high rates of interest more than any other option, including, say, the market at this point of time.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, this is Panapa on behalf of BCIC and EFSI. I think as time is running, we need to close. We have taken the time from Commissioner only up to 4. Dear sir, respected EPF Commissioner and Mr. Rakesh Sekhar, thank you very much for the presentation. It was very, very informative and very useful. This is going to be very useful in our day-to-day management every day, and also we can always come to your office for any other clarifications that is there. I am sure some of the participants still have some issues to be clarified. I am sure they can come to your office anytime.
In this times, I'll advise you to stay home and stay safe, and you can write to us through emails or our grievance platforms, EPF IGMS, for any further clarification or advice. We will be always available online to help you out.
Okay, thank you very much. On behalf of BCIC and on behalf of EFSI, we thank you, sir. And as you said, we will be calling on you at your office once the lockout is lifted to thank you personally. Right now, we'll not wait.
Okay.
Thank you very much, and thank all the participants.
All the participants also, and the organizers.
Thank all the participants also. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.